This is RBC Television.
This is RBC World News.
Good evening, and welcome to this very first broadcast of RBC World News. We have normally only reported news stories about Roblox, but lately there have been many news events that matter to us all. In these times, it's necessary to report accurately about them, and with this program it is our goal to report on them as well as we can, so that they are both clear and simple to you, our viewers. But tonight, these are the latest stories in the world. A huge storm is overgoing America as we speak. At least 20 have died. Officials say that this storm is the biggest to have ever hit the Gulf Coast. In other news, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, told the United Nations earlier this week that if Iran attacks Israel, they will attack back. Also on the program, the Italian Parliament confirmed a new law on Wednesday that allows schools to fail students based on their behaviour.
This is RBC World News.
And tonight we start with a story that is happening as we speak. Hurricane Helene has moved on to new land in America. It is a Category 4 hurricane, which means that it travels around 210 to 250 kilometers per hour. Category 4 hurricanes can also cause significant damage to buildings as well as there can be power damages like we've already seen. Over 3 million have lost power in these affected states. Trees can also be uprooted, as well as there are often large amounts of flooding during these types of hurricanes, as you can see in these images that should be appearing on the screen as we speak. Hurricane Helene made it to land on Thursday and already started very strong. Officials called for a number of evacuations in the area in a multi-state event, meaning that the hurricane will be in more than one state. Even with the severity of the hurricane and orders from official authorities, some residents have decided not to evacuate their homes. Authorities have asked those residents to write their names on their arm or leg so if they die they can be identified and the family can know. But early on Friday, Hurricane Helene was downgraded from Category 4 to Category 2, and very shortly after to Category 1, meaning that it is not as fast or destructive as earlier. It is nonetheless still a hurricane. From this point, the most destructive part of the hurricanes will be the rain, as it can and often cause floodings. Right now, it is categorized as a tropical storm, but officials say that it can be life-threatening. A total death count, when this is recorded, at least 20. At least one first responder has died in this storm. But then to some other news. Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the United Nations on Friday, saying that if Iran attacks Israel, they will attack them back. He says that after Iran threatened to attack Israel due to the rising tensions in the area, Netanyahu said that there was not a single place in Iran that the Israeli army could not get into. He said that the same thing could have been said to each Middle East country. They should have that in mind if they choose to attack Israel. Netanyahu's address came very sudden to many of the meeting guests, and some of them decided to walk out the meeting as he started his speech. Also in his speech, he criticized the United Nations for their actions against Israel during the war against Palestine. He demanded that Hamas would be declared a terrorist group and that the hostages that Hamas has should be freed. But from that United Nations just to one nation, and that will be Italy, because the parliament in that country passed a new law that gives teachers the legal right to fail a student if his behaviour reaches a grade below 5. Students that get 6 will have to undergo a special test. This law is similar to a law that was in effect in Italy during Benito Mussolini's reign. His administration took up a similar law in 1924, or exactly 100 years ago. The law was then rejected in the 1970s and had completely vanished from the schools around the new millennium. The Parliament passed the law with 154 votes, against 97, but many people say this is a step back in times that people would rather want to forget. That is all from us tonight. We will hopefully be back soon with more news from the world. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter or join our Discord server. Both will be linked right below. You can also, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more of these videos. But until next time, bye.